Snark Squad.
We are so back.
Babes.
Yes.
We have been summoned.
We truly have.
And we are here.
Front and center.
And, can we just say...
No, please say it.
The Easter decor.
Yeah.
Is giving.
What is it giving?
Tribal Council.
It absolutely is. Like, the pastel eggs are looking very ominous right now.
They are?
I feel like one of those, hollow chocolate bunnies is about to blindside me.
No, literally. So tonight, this is our Tribal Council.
Oi.
Snark Squad, you are the jury.
Period.
And babes,
yeah,
we are here to discuss.
We have so much to unpack.
So for everyone working tomorrow, happy Friday, babes.
Godspeed to you all.
And for everyone not working, happy Friday as well.
We wish all the snarkers well.
We really do. But before we get into the absolute chaos of the island...
Which is, I mean, it's a lot.
It's so much. But we need to talk about something serious first.
Oh, God.
Remote work.
I am already stressed just hearing the world.
I know. Pour the wine, because I've been spiraling all afternoon.
Same. Like, analytically speaking, how are families surviving?
They aren't.
When both parents work outside the home.
I am literally physically ill just thinking about the logistics of it.
It makes no mathematical sense.
Exactly. Like, the school hours versus the work hours, it's a literal impossibility.
Right, because school gets out at what, like 3 p.m.?
3:15, maybe.
Right, so who is off work at 3:15 p.m.?
Nobody. Unless you are, like, a Victorian ghost haunting a seaside manor.
Which would be a vibe, honestly.
Total vibe. But seriously, the absolute lack of flexibility right now is staggering.
It is exhausting to even conceptualize.
It really is.
Because you have a rigid 9 to 5,
yeah.
right? But what the kids have an 8 to 3.
Yeah.
What happens in those 2 hours?
Do they just wander the streets?
Do they start a small underground bartering economy in the cul-de-sac?
Probably. Like, work from home was the only good thing that came out of COVID.
Oh, the only thing.
And now, babes, we are confused.
So confused.
Yeah.
Because they want us commuting an hour in dead stop traffic.
Right. To go back to these gray cubicles.
Under those buzzing fluorescent lights.
Ugh, the lights. They make everyone look like they have a severe vitamin D deficiency.
They do. And for what? To sit on a Zoom call in an office instead of sitting on a Zoom call in my kitchen.
Where I have access to my good snacks.
Exactly. The forced proximity is completely performative at this point.
Totally. And this whole spiral started because one of our sisters called.
Yep.
And asked us to pick up our niece from school.
Because they were at work.
Right. And the panic that set in.
I was sweating.
The sheer, unadulterated panic of having to leave the house at 2:45 p.m.
It's the worst time of day.
Getting in the car and navigating the car rider line.
Which, for the Snark Squad who haven't experienced it.
Oh my God, it is the most vicious, cutthroat environment I have ever witnessed.
It is worse than any reality TV show we have ever watched.
Honestly, yes. The moms in the white SUVs, they do not care about your life.
They will run you off the road.
Just to secure their spot by the cafeteria doors.
It is a terrifying sociological experiment.
It really is.
Like, you see the darkest parts of human nature in a school pickup line.
You really do. And it got us thinking,
yeah,
could we ever be with someone who also works full-time like that?
No, absolutely
The
not.
stress of coordinating 2 commutes.
And the meal prep? No, thank you.
So naturally, we asked ourselves,
as one does,
is the solution
drum roll, please,
becoming stay-at-home sugar babies?
I mean,
let that hit for a second.
it's a loaded question.
It is, because the 401k is not 401k'ing the way it should right now.
The economy is in absolute shambles.
Right. A carton of organic eggs costs a mortgage payment.
Okay. But I am going to push back analytically here.
Go ahead.
Because while the fantasy of being a kept woman lounging in a silk robe sounds incredible.
It sounds perfect.
Let's look at the messy reality.
Ugh, reality.
You are romanticizing a dynamic that is entirely transactional.
Well, yeah, but...
You are relying completely on someone else's wallet.
Yeah.
And usually, that wallet comes attached to a man who wants to talk to you about his cryptocurrency portfolio.
Oh, God, not the crypto.
Or his golf swing. For, like, 3 hours every single evening.
Okay, but listen. I could learn to care about golf.
No, you couldn't.
I really could. If I never had to log into a Monday morning stand-up meeting again.
You would lose your mind.
I would happily nod along while he explains what a birdie is.
You don't even know what a birdie is.
I don't need to know. I would just be on the country club patio.
Right.
Sipping an Aperol Spritz.
Right.
Wearing linen. Living my absolute best life.
Wait, You can't even feign interest when I try to explain basic statistics to you.
That's different.
You would last exactly 4 days before you started a screaming match.
Okay, maybe 5 days.
A screaming match about how mind-numbingly boring his friends are at a dinner party.
Well, his friends probably would be boring.
The delusion is so real right now.
Let me live in my delusion.
The reality of being a sugar baby is labor.
I mean, I guess.
It is intense emotional labor. And rigorous aesthetic labor.
Okay, the aesthetic labor is the worst
Yes,
part.
exactly. The Pilates, the skincare routines, the constant monitoring of his moods.
So exhausting.
It's a 24/7 performance. You are basically an independent contractor.
With zero job security.
And no HR department.
Okay, fine. You're right.
I usually am.
The aesthetic labor alone would break me.
You hate putting on real pants.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't want to put on concealer every day either.
Exactly.
Sometimes I just want to wear my oversized sweatshirt and look like a swamp creature in peace.
And you deserve to be a swamp creature.
Thank you. Look, this might be wine-fueled. We're not sure.
It's definitely wine-fueled.
But babes to all our baddies thriving out there.
Doing the hard work.
Maybe donate to charity if you can.
Seriously, share the wealth.
Keep it light, slightly chaotic.
Well, speaking of things that bring genuine joy without the emotional labor.
Oh my God, yes. Let's pivot.
Before recording, we went to a Jamaican restaurant.
We did.
And babes the oxtail with rice and peas.
Elite.
Elite doesn't even begin to cover it.
I am still thinking about it.
Same.
I am having a spiritual reaction mid-memory right now.
The flavor profile alone was insane.
The tenderness.
Right.
It was literally falling off the bone.
You didn't even need a knife.
No. You could just look at it and the meat would slide off.
And the gravy. We have to acknowledge the gravy.
Oh my God, the gravy.
That rich, deeply savory, perfectly spiced, slow-simmered gravy soaking into the rice and peas.
I could drink the gravy with a straw.
And the plantains. Caramelized to absolute perfection.
Those little crispy edges.
It was so profoundly satisfying.
Especially after the trauma of surviving the school pickup line.
We needed it to regulate our nervous system.
I used like 12 napkins.
It was a very messy, glorious experience.
And it really grounded me, you know. It made me feel alive.
Food will do that.
Which, honestly, brings me to the absolute tragedy of what is happening on our television screens.
The ultimate pivot.
Because we just ate like absolute royalty.
We really did.
We are sitting here full, happy, and slightly buzzed.
Thriving.
And meanwhile, on day 12 in Fiji,
oh, it's grim.
these people are starving.
They are hallucinating.
Their brains are eating themselves.
And we are just thriving on the couch.
The dichotomy is jarring.
It is, but it is the perfect lens for tonight's discussion.
It really is.
Because, Snark Squad, this was a monumental week on the island.
Massive.
We witnessed the biggest merge in the history of the franchise.
17 people on one beach.
17.
It's a crowded subway car.
It's way too many people.
It is a music festival porta-potty line.
Which is my actual nightmare.
Right. But like the sheer ridiculousness of having 17 human beings trying to live at one camp is unfathomable.
It's logistically broken.
Think about the logistics. Where do they sleep?
On top of each other, apparently.
How do they boil enough water?
They don't.
How do you even remember everyone's name when you are operating on a caloric deficit of like 3,000 calories a day?
You don't. You just start pointing and grunting.
Literally.
It is a nightmare, and production knew exactly what they were doing.
They are so messy for this.
They created a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
The moment they drop their buffs and realize everyone is coming together, the chaos starts.
Instantly.
And immediately, I mean, before they even have time to build a shelter,
They haven't even put their bags down.
a boat pulls up to the shore.
Just a random boat.
Just a regular motorized boat, one local guy driving it, no food, no plates, no welcome feast.
Nothing.
Just a single envelope sitting on the seat.
The envelope of doom.
And that envelope launches the entire tribe of 17 people into an absolute unhinged panic.
A mad dash.
An advantage hunt in the middle of the dense Fijian jungle.
The way they scattered.
It was pure chaos.
It was like dropping a piece of bread in a pond full of ducks.
That is the perfect visual.
Just a flurry of limbs, desperation, and total self-preservation.
Everyone running in different directions.
Tearing apart vines, ripping up the dirt.
You have Rick Devens out there literally sniffing under rocks like a truffle pig.
Colby is limping on his hyperextended foot.
Dragging himself through the brush.
Aubry is climbing up mountains like a feral goat.
She really was.
But the absolute highlight of this entire scramble for me was Christian.
Oh my God, Christian's trance.
His mantra, I was screaming at my television.
He was in a full, medically definable dissociative state.
Completely gone.
Just walking mechanically through the jungle, dead-eyed, muttering.
Landmark, tree, nook, just keep going, going, going.
Landmark, tree, nook, over and over.
It was giving cult leader in training.
It was deeply unsettling.
It was giving sleep paralysis demon. Why do our brains do that?
Well, under extreme stress, he just turned into a search algorithm.
Literally.
It's actually a brilliant coping mechanism, analytically. Yeah. When the central nervous system is overwhelmed by a task, that seems impossible.
Like finding a tiny piece of paper hidden in miles of jungle.
While competing against 16 other desperate people.
Right.
The brain narrows its focus to repetitive, achievable microtasks.
Wow.
Check the tree, check the nook, move on. It prevents cognitive overload.
Okay, that makes sense. But despite his brilliant algorithm, he wasn't the one who found it.
No, he wasn't.
Because somehow, despite the astronomical odds, Ozzy finds the advantage.
Ozzy!
The mulleted wonder of reality TV.
It is absolutely poetic.
It really is, because every single twist this season seems to magically funnel directly through him.
He is the main character right now.
He really is. He finds the rolled up parchment, opens it, and finds out he's going to Exile Island.
Which is brutal.
And then the twist gets darker.
Of course it does.
He has 5 minutes to pick someone to drag with him into isolation.
Just 5 minutes?
And the person he chooses has absolutely no say in the matter.
Which is terrifying from a social game perspective.
Totally terrifying.
Because Exile Island is exactly what it sounds like. A barren beach with zero shelter and zero resources.
Nothing but sand and crabs.
You are removed from the social politics of the main camp for a full day.
And so Ozzy points into the crowd and chooses Rizo.
Which
blew my mind.
Really?
Yes. You are Rizo. You are just standing there, minding your own business.
Trying not to make eye contact.
Trying to blend into the crowd of 17 people. And suddenly Ozzy points at you and says, "We're going to exile."
But if we look at the psychology behind that choice.
Okay, tell me.
It was actually a highly analytical, brilliant move by Ozzy.
Really? Why?
Because when you are forced to isolate with one person, you have 3 options.
Okay.
You pick a known ally, which instantly signals to the rest of the 15 people that you are an unbreakable duo.
Putting a massive target on both your back.
Exactly. Or you pick an enemy.
Which guarantees 24 hours of absolute misery.
And unnecessary bad blood.
Right.
Or you look for the wild card.
The blank slate.
The one person nobody really knows anything about yet. And Rizo was that blank slate.
Rizo was so cautiously excited, though.
He was.
He literally looked at the camera and said, it was either going to be the adventure of a lifetime
or the scariest night of his life.
Exactly. And what does this forced isolation do?
It changes everything.
It births the most unexpected, deeply chaotic alliance of the season.
Polycule.
The Ozzy, Cirie, and Rizo polycule.
I was reading a breakdown earlier today, and they've completely clocked this dynamic.
It's so good.
Cirie literally tells the cameras, I'm in a poly relationship now with Rizo and Ozzy.
She is an icon.
And when Ozzy gets to exile, he immediately starts bonding with Rizo.
Naturally.
But why? Because Cirie, the mastermind back at camp, had already quietly vouched for Rizo to Ozzy before he left.
The shadow dominance.
It is a completely shadow-operated power structure.
It really is.
Rizo thinks he's bonding with Ozzy naturally, but the foundation was laid by Cirie.
It is so manipulative, and I am obsessed with it.
It's high-level gameplay.
But babes, before we get to the deep Machiavellian strategy of the votes,
we have to talk about the food.
We have to talk about the absolute absurdity of the challenge.
Oh, the corporate product placement.
Yes.
Duh.
Jeff gathers the remaining 15 players.
Because our 2 exile boys are shivering on a rock somewhere.
Right. And he introduces the blood moon twist.
Which Jeff claims is for the fans.
Which is such a lie.
Because, quote, 63% of the viewers voted for more twists on some interactive app.
I didn't vote for that.
It's the ultimate corporate shifting of blame.
It really is.
Don't get mad at production for ruining the purity of the game. Get mad at yourselves. You voted for this.
Exactly. I have an analogy for this.
Yeah.
And I need you to hear me out.
I am ready.
That is exactly like corporate management implementing a terrible, draconian new return-to-office policy.
Oh, God. Trigger warning.
And defending it by saying, well, a few people filled out an anonymous survey saying they missed water cooler chat.
That is so spot on.
It is weaponizing a faulty, incredibly narrow data point to punish the masses.
It really is.
You are taking a tiny slice of feedback and using it to justify maximum chaos.
That is a profoundly accurate analysis.
Thank you.
because production wants maximum volatility. Volatility creates viral moments.
Right.
So they find the slimmest margin of viewer data to justify turning a strategic social game into a random casino.
And the players are the ones paying the price with their sanity.
Totally. But to soften the blow of the twist,
Oh, here we go.
Jeff introduces the reward.
An Applebee's feast.
This is where I fully lost my mind.
I was screaming.
Jeff, a man standing in the sweltering heat of Fiji with no teleprompter,
No earpiece.
looks at these 15 starving people and rattles off the entire Applebee's menu from memory.
It was a monologue worthy of Shakespeare.
The cadence, the passion.
He didn't just say we have burgers and dessert.
No, he looked these emaciated people in the eyes and passionately said the words, house-made ranch drizzle.
He lovingly described a sizzling caramel apple pie.
He hyped up the whole Lotta bacon burger.
Babes, I was getting emotional on my couch.
It was a lot to take in.
Seeing these people who have been eating literal dirt and unseasoned rice for 12 days.
Sobbing over the concept of a casual dining mozzarella stick.
Yes. I have to ask you, I need your cynical, analytical brain on this.
Hit me.
Is the aggressive corporate product placement ruining the grid of the game? Or is seeing human beings reduced to tears over a chain restaurant appetizer peak television?
It is the absolute apex of modern reality television.
Right.
It is dystopian art.
It really is.
You have these people pushed to the absolute brink of human endurance. Their bodies are shutting down.
Their nervous systems are frayed.
And their ultimate salvation, the thing that brings them to their knees in gratitude, is a corporate-sponsored spinach and artichoke dip.
It's poetic in a dark way.
It is a terrifying commentary on late-stage capitalism.
It truly is.
And what makes it even better is the visual of it all.
Oh my God, Chris.
They made the challenge producer, Chris Marchand, clean himself up,
Put on a black polo shirt.
and act as the Applebee's greeter right there in the middle of the jungle.
I am obsessed with Chris.
He was so serious about it.
Give that man free shark bowls for life. The commitment to the bit was flawless.
But the challenge itself to win that food
And to win immunity from the blood moon twist.
was brutal.
Brutal. For anyone who didn't catch the mechanics.
The players had to stand barefoot on extremely narrow wooden footholds inside a giant wooden frame.
Just terrible.
At regular intervals, Jeff forces them to step down to even smaller, narrower footholds.
My arches were cramping just watching it.
And remember, the blood moon twist means these 15 people are randomly divided into 3 groups,
Teal, orange, and purple.
which means 3 separate tribal councils.
3 people going home in one night.
The last person standing in each of those 3 groups gets immunity.
Just looking at those tiny wooden pegs made my feet ache.
Same.
Like, I can barely stand in line at the post office for 20 minutes in highly supportive, ergonomic footwear.
You complain after 5 minutes.
My back hurts just thinking about it.
The physical toll is immense.
It is.
Stephanie won the immunity for the orange group.
Yes, she did.
And she did it despite openly yelling about having bunions and pigeon toes.
She literally shouted that she was proud of her bunions while balancing on a 1-inch piece of wood.
The sheer force of will to ignore that kind of searing physical pain is staggering.
She is an icon. Which brings us perfectly into the strategy.
Let's get into it. Segment 1. Who played the best game?
Because once those groups get back to the beach, the scrambling begins.
It was chaotic.
And we have to talk about who played the best game this week.
We really do.
Because in the orange group, give Chrissy an Oscar right now.
Oh, entirely.
Hand her the Academy Award for Best Actress in a Leading Role.
Her performance was a masterclass in psychological manipulation.
And threat mitigation.
Let's break down the board for the Snark squad.
Please do.
The orange group consists of Chrissy, Stephanie, Jonathan, Kamilla, and Tiffany. Stephanie has immunity. Chrissy, as an older player, knows she is on the bottom of the social hierarchy.
Okay.
She knows the new era younger girls, Kamilla and Tiffany, want her gone because she is an easy consensus target.
So what does she do?
She weaponizes empathy.
She turns on the waterworks.
Beautifully.
She sits Kamilla and Tiffany down, gets visibly choked up, and says she knows they're going to vote her out.
She plays the role of the defeated, graceful elder stateswoman perfectly.
She says she doesn't take it personally. She wants them all to stay friends outside of the game.
And she just wants to exit joyfully.
It is brilliant because it completely disarms her opponents.
When an enemy surrenders, your cortisol levels drop.
You stop scrambling.
You stop plotting.
Kamilla and Tiffany fully believed they had secured a stress-free, unanimous vote.
They relaxed entirely.
She gave them the complete narrative they wanted to hear.
And
then the editors pull off the greatest cinematic cut of the season.
it was so good.
They cut to Chrissy in a private confessional.
With that sad, plinky piano music playing in the background.
She looks at the camera, repeats that she wants to go out joyfully,
She pauses for like a full 5 seconds of dead air.
and then this massive, villainous, mischievous grin spreads across her face.
The sad music cuts out.
And she whispers, "But I don't think that's going to happen."
A literal mic drop.
I screamed.
The second she leaves that fake surrender conversation, she immediately goes to work on Jonathan and Stephanie.
To flip the vote onto Kamilla.
It was textbook warfare, dressed up as a white surrender flag.
Incredible.
By making Kamilla and Tiffany feel safe, she ensured they wouldn't play an idol or try to counterattack.
I stand a deceitful queen. I really do.
It's good TV.
The emotional intelligence required to fake your own demise and make your killers feel good about it. Transcendent.
But while Chrissy was putting on a Broadway show,
Let's look at the broader game.
because someone else is pulling strings without ever raising her voice,
Cirie.
Cirie's shadow dominance is terrifyingly impressive.
She is a mastermind.
If we look at the power rankings that came out this week, Cirie has surged +4 spots.
Think about how insane that is.
It defies logic.
She survived the early merge, despite being one of the most historically famous, obvious, massive strategic targets on the board.
Usually legends like her are voted out immediately because their reputation precedes them.
But nobody is savvy enough or brave enough to make a move against her.
Because she has the mist.
She is hypnotic.
She doesn't threaten you.
She just talks to you in this soothing, logical tone, and suddenly you are handing her your wallet
Your car keys.
and thanking her for taking them.
Let's analyze exactly how she operated in the Teal group.
Break it down.
The Teal group has Dee, Emily, Cirie, Coach, and Colby.
Right.
Dee and Emily, who are the tight duo from season 45, are furious with Coach.
Because Coach lied to them.
So emotionally, Dee and Emily want to vote Coach out to punish him.
But Cirie steps in.
She doesn't yell, she doesn't demand, she doesn't tell them they are wrong.
She validates their anger.
And then she logically explains the structure of the opposing alliance.
Yes. She tells them that Colby is the head of the honor and integrity snake.
And Coach is just the sloppy tail.
The sloppy tail. It is such a devastating, accurate read.
She convinces Dee and Emily that if they truly want to dismantle the old school alliance, voting out the erratic sloppy tail does nothing.
They have to cut the head.
They have to eliminate Colby, who actually has the social capital to rally people.
She gets exactly what she wants, successfully navigating a 5-person tribal council where she was arguably the biggest long-term threat.
She completely shifted the crosshairs off herself and onto Colby, making it seem like it was Dee and Emily's idea.
It is Inception.
It is.
She planted the idea in their minds so flawlessly.
But we cannot talk about the best gameplay of the week without talking about your sleep paralysis demon.
Christian?
Christian in the purple group, or the magenta group, as some people rightly pointed out, because the buffs were definitely magenta, not purple.
He was playing 4D chess.
Let's set the scene for the Snark squad.
Okay, so Christian wins the endurance immunity, which means he is perfectly safe.
Right.
He is tightly aligned with Rick Devens and Aubry.
And everyone knows that Aubry has the Billie Eilish boomerang idol.
For the uninitiated, the boomerang idol means if you play at a tribal council and you receive no votes, the idol returns to your pocket instead of being flushed out of the game.
It is a massively powerful tool.
And on the bottom of this group, we have Genevieve and Joe.
So Genevieve realizes she is doomed.
She does.
She goes to Christian with a Hail Mary pitch.
And strategically, her pitch makes logical sense.
It does. She tells Christian that he needs to take out Rick Devens.
Her argument is that Christian and Devens are too close. Everyone sees them as a power couple.
Their threat level is too high.
And Christian needs to cut his closest ally to lower his own profile moving forward.
It is a bold pitch to ask a man to execute his best friend on day 12.
And how does Christian react?
He just nods.
He smiles warmly.
He maintains perfect eye contact.
He listens to her entire desperate pitch and makes her feel completely heard and respected.
And then
He goes into the private confessional booth and completely eviscerates her.
he drops the smile.
He calls her a Terminator.
He says she is smooth as velvet, but incredibly dangerous.
And notes that her pitch proves exactly why she needs to be eliminated.
He played her like an absolute fiddle.
He really did.
He recognized that taking out his strongest partner this early in the merge would be a fatal error.
You do not weaken your own voting block just to appease someone on the bottom.
But he entertained her pitch strictly for jury management and threat assessment.
If you shut someone down aggressively, they panic and look for idols.
By smiling and nodding, he kept her calm while quietly loading the gun.
Babes, it's exactly like when you are smiling at a coworker. You are actively trying to get fired.
I'm sorry, what?
You know exactly what I mean.
I really don't.
When Brenda, from accounting, who wears those clunky cardigans and types too loud, comes over to your desk, and she pitches a terrible, convoluted new filing system that is going to create 10 times more work for everyone.
Right.
And you look at Brenda and you smile and you nod and you say, Brenda, that is so innovative. I truly love how your mind works.
Oh my God.
And you let her walk away feeling like a genius.
And then what do?
The literal second she turns the corner, you are opening a new email to HR and the department head saying, Brenda is creating critical workflow bottlenecks, and her access to the shared drive must be neutralized immediately.
That is a terrifyingly accurate, highly specific analogy and also a massive red flag for anyone working in your office building.
I'm just saying, it's effective.
But structurally, yes.
Yes.
Christian successfully neutralized the threat while maintaining a pleasant, cooperative exterior.
Exactly.
Which brings us to segment 2. The biggest blindsides.
Because the fallout of all this maneuvering was devastating.
Let's start with Kamilla.
I was genuinely heartbroken.
I know you were.
I was clutching my wine glass, reacting emotionally on my couch. Kamilla getting betrayed by Jonathan in the Orange Group.
Let's break down the mechanics of why this betrayal happened.
Please do, because I'm still mad.
Jonathan found himself in the most powerful and dangerous position in the game, the swing vote.
Yeah.
He had to choose between two distinct factions.
On one side, the honor and integrity old schoolers, Stephanie and Chrissy, who are aligned with the broader Coach and Colby network.
On the other side, the new schoolers, Kamilla and Tiffany, who are aligned with D.
He had to pick a side. And he picked the boomers?
He did?
I was yelling at the screen, why would a physical threat like Jonathan align with the people who will absolutely cut him later?
Analytically, it was the right move for his specific social capital.
Was it, though?
Yes. He has an established underlying connection with Chrissy and Stephanie.
Okay, fine.
More importantly, Kamilla had just burned him on a previous vote regarding a player named Charlie.
Right.
But the psychology of Camilla's reaction is what's truly fascinating.
Her exit quote was iconic.
It was.
The absolute disgust and betrayal in her voice when she grabbed her torch and said, "Brew!" dragged that man through the mud.
She was livid.
She fully thought she had Jonathan in her pocket.
And that was her fatal flaw.
Overconfidence.
Overconfidence in a closed social system. I was reading a breakdown last night, and the fans perfectly diagnosed this.
What did they say?
They noted that Kamilla and Tiffany as well showed exactly how much they underestimated Jonathan's agency.
Oh, that's interesting.
Jonathan made the move to betray them precisely because of their overconfidence.
Wow.
Kamilla didn't view Jonathan as a strategic entity with his own goals. She viewed him as a tool.
She treated him like a number that belonged to her.
And the moment you treat a human being like a tool, you lose their loyalty, because tools can be easily picked up and wielded by someone else who actually shows them respect.
Okay, that is a devastating read.
It's the truth.
Treating allies as tools instead of humans destroys your social capital. I have to respect the psychology there.
You do. But then we look at Genevieve's exit in the purple group.
Oh, Genevieve. I feel like strategy had nothing to do with it.
No, it really didn't.
She was completely, totally screwed by the randomness of the swap twist.
She really was. It was a mathematically unlucky draw.
She lands on a temporary beach where the numbers are overwhelmingly against her.
Christian has immunity.
Aubry has the boomerang idol, which everyone knows about because Christian gifted it to her publicly.
Devins is insulated by his bond with Christian.
Genevieve literally had zero wiggle room.
None. But I live for the petty drama, though.
Same.
The fact that Genevieve's last desperate move was trying to throw Aubry under the bus to Christian, knowing full well Aubry has wanted Genevieve gone since day one.
It was a genuine blood feud.
It was. I was reading a column, and they made this great point about how modern reality TV needs more open, unapologetic feuds.
We do. We are so used to players being hyper-polite and constantly managing their public image.
Aubry and Genevieve were fully committed to game animosity.
They didn't pretend to like each other.
They were openly gunning for each other.
As long as it doesn't cross the line into deep, ugly personal attacks, that kind of friction is fantastic television.
It really is. But I have to ask you,
Okay.
was Genevieve truly a victim of a bad corporate twist? Or did she ruin her own game on day one by starting this feud with Aubry in the first place?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like, some fans argue that had she chosen to not as an enemy of Aubry, she'd still be in the game.
It's a synthesis of both factors, I think.
Elaborate?
Did the Blood Moon twist put her in a statistically improbable situation to survive? Yes.
Yes, it did.
But her social capital was already completely bankrupt with Aubry.
Right.
In this game, your social bonds are your insurance policy against bad luck.
Exactly.
If Genevieve had cultivated even a neutral working relationship with Aubry early on, they might have banded together to target Joe or even Devons.
But because the animosity was so rigid and public, Aubry was never, ever going to let an opportunity to eliminate her pass by.
Genevieve dug the grave, and the twist just pushed her into it.
Her exit was pure cinema, though.
She plays her shot in the dark,
Yeah.
which, for those who don't know, means sacrificing your vote for a literal 1 in 6 chance at pulling a safe scroll from a bag.
It fails. She realizes it's over.
And instead of storming off, she takes off her signature red jacket
Walks over to Aubry, her mortal enemy.
and hands it to her. Treasure it, the beautiful coat.
The drama, the aesthetics.
It was a very old-school Hollywood exit.
It was. Speaking of dignified old-school exits, we have to talk about the final tribal council of the night.
The Teal Group,
Colby?
Colby Donaldson.
Babes, I am going to get genuinely emotional right now. I was tearing up.
It was hard to watch.
He absolute legend of the franchise. He couldn't walk.
His foot was destroyed.
He had lost his vote on a previous journey, so he couldn't even defend himself on paper.
In the event of a tie, he was drawing rocks. The ultimate game of Russian roulette, where you pull a colored stone out of a bag, and if you pull the wrong color, your game is over instantly.
He was, as Coach so elegantly and cruelly put it, a lame duck. Let's talk about Coach's total lack of empathy for a second.
Please.
Coach literally says to the cameras, he sucks. He's literally like a lame duck, while Colby is physically dragging his hyperextended foot across the sand.
It is peak coach delusion.
But if we remove the cruelty and read the room analytically, Colby was a massive structural threat.
How is a man who can barely walk a threat?
Because the physical game is only 1/3 of the equation.
Okay, true.
Socially, he was the bridge. He was the vital connection between the rigid old schoolers like Coach and Stephanie and the fluid new schoolers like Genevieve and Rizo.
Cirie identified that correctly.
Exactly. If Colby makes it to the true full merge healthy, he becomes the godfather of the entire island.
Everyone likes him. Everyone respects him.
Cutting him while he was injured and voteless was the most optimal, high-value, cold-blooded move the Teal Group could make.
But his exit speech,
It was so classy.
he didn't yell, he didn't blame anyone, he was so graceful.
He talked about his 50s being a decade of reflection.
He looked around at these people who just betrayed him. After all the heartbreak, the 12 days of starvation, the terrible luck, the physical injury,
And he just tells them, find the joy.
I was sobbing into my wine glass.
You were a mess.
The emotional maturity to separate the betrayal of the game from the beauty of the experience is something I simply do not possess.
Same. It was a dignified end to a legendary run.
It really was.
And it perfectly frames the macro-level strategy we need to discuss in segment 3.
Who would we alliance with?
Exactly. Snark Squad, if we were out there on that beach, we have to ask ourselves, who would we align with?
What kind of social structure actually works?
I know who you're picking.
I am going to state this explicitly and unequivocally.
Go on.
I am aligning with Dee and Emily,
I knew it.
and I am basing this decision entirely on their treatment of Coach.
Analytically, their treatment of Coach was a stunning display of behavioral conditioning.
They treated him like a bad dog who peed on the rug.
They really did.
It was everything I have ever wanted to see on television.
Let's set the scene for the jury. Coach tries to lie to Dee.
He pulls her aside and tells her that Emily D's closest friend wanted her out,
It is a blatant, stupid, easily disprovable lie.
which is Coach's signature move.
Yeah.
High theatrical drama, Absolutely zero logic.
He assumes everyone else is as gullible as he is.
He immediately sees right through it.
She doesn't even entertain it.
She goes straight to the cameras, and I want to quote her exactly because this is going on my gravestone.
Read the quote.
She says, "You're going to sit, you're going to shake, you're going to roll over for me because you're going to be my little puppies tonight."
She completely neutralized his ego.
She destroyed him.
By identifying his lie immediately, she stripped him of any perceived power.
I want to be in an alliance with that energy.
But looking at the wider board, there are arguments for joining other factions.
Like who?
Do you try to infiltrate the Ozzy, Cirie, and Rizo polycule?
Ooh.
That gives you access to physical dominance in challenges with Ozzy, strategic mastery with Cirie, and a malleable number in Rizo.
That's a strong trio.
Or do you try to wedge your way into the Christian and Devon's hammock snuggle fest?
The hammock snuggle fest sounds so cozy.
It does sound relaxed.
I just want to lay there and talk about nerdy things while Christian overanalyzes the ocean currents.
But honestly, I have to ask you.
What?
Are we too messy to survive a rigid honor and integrity alliance?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if we were out there with Coach and Colby trying to play an old school game based on loyalty and handshakes, would we just instantly defect to the new era fluid alliances out of sheer boredom?
100%, yeah.
The entire concept of an honor and integrity framework in a game designed around deception is a trap anyway.
It demands blind loyalty.
But if you actually analyze how those alliances function, loyalty usually just means subservience to the person at the top of the hierarchy. If you are at the bottom of an honor alliance, you are just waiting in line to be sacrificed with dignity.
Which sounds awful.
Fluid alliances, where voting blocks shift every week based on mutual self-interest, allow for actual social mobility. But let's be real. You are far too messy for an honor alliance anyway.
I really am.
You would roll your eyes during one of Coach's 20-minute samurai proverbs.
I would.
He would perceive it as a slight against his character, and they would vote you out for a lack of respect.
I absolutely would get voted out for that. I would laugh directly in his face.
You have no poker face.
I cannot take a man seriously when he's doing Tai Chi on the beach while we are out of rice.
It's objectively funny.
Which transitions us to the ultimate question in segment 4.
Would we survive Survivor?
Would we actually survive this show?
We need to break this down into 3 categories: physically, socially, and mentally.
Babes, let's go back to our earlier life spiral.
Let's do it.
If I am having a mild panic attack and needing a glass of Pinot Noir because my sister asked me to pick up my niece at 3:15 p.m.
In an air-conditioned SUV with Bluetooth audio.
Exactly. How am I handling 14 days of starvation on a beach?
You are not. Your baseline for physical discomfort is incredibly dangerously low.
I need a flavored beverage at all times.
You do?
I need my emotional support water bottle filled with ice that doesn't melt.
I need access to a charger.
Look at the physical toll it takes on actual athletes.
We just talked about the Applebee's Endurance Challenge.
Stephanie has bunions.
Could you stand barefoot on a 1-inch piece of jagged wood for 3 hours while Jeff Probst taunts you with descriptions of caramel apple pie?
No. I would step off the platform for a single French fry.
I would sell out my closest ally for a sip of a shark bowl.
Same. But it's not just the physical toll.
No, it's the mental toll of the sheer randomness of the game right now.
The fans are complaining endlessly about how luck-based the structure has become.
And those complaints have extreme merit from a game theory perspective.
Explain the math.
Well, someone pointed out a terrifying statistic. If you didn't win individual immunity and you weren't sent to Exile Island by Ozzy, you had a literal 1 in 4 chance of going home in this episode.
1 in 4.
That is an incredibly high variance environment.
You can play a perfect social game, you can build trust, you can mitigate your threat level.
And you can still be eliminated simply because Jeff Probst pulled a twist out of a hat and the math didn't work in your favor.
It is exhausting.
The mental fortitude required to not completely snap when you draw a bad rock or land on the wrong side of a random tribe swap is immense.
I would snap.
You would.
I would become the villain of the season.
You would be menaced.
I would dump the rice in the fire, steal the machete, and swim off into the ocean.
Which is exactly why you belong on the couch, drinking wine, and analyzing the psychology of the game with me.
It's safer for everyone this way. Tribal council chaos, life spirals, elite Jamaican food.
We have covered it all tonight.
We really unpacked the human condition tonight, babes.
So now we turn it over to the jury.
The Snark Squad.
We have 3 questions for you to debate in the comments.
Album.
1. Could you actually survive the physical and mental toll of this game? Or are you, like us, breaking down at the thought of navigating a school pickup line?
Be honest. 2. What's your genuine stance on remote work? Are you fighting the 9-to-5 return to office mandates, or are you somehow thriving under those soul-sucking fluorescent lights?
And 3, are you team sugar baby willing to do the aesthetic labor, or are you team corporate burnout? Let us know.
Rate, review, subscribe.
Please do.
Send in your shady, snarky, or stupid submissions. We read them all and we live for the mess.
We really do.
And please send this discussion to exactly one friend who you absolutely know would get voted out first.
Thank you for being part of the squad. We couldn't do this madness without you.
Stay strategic.
Stay messy.
And we'll see you on the Snark side. But wait, seriously, think about the sugar baby thing. Just keep your options open. Let the man talk about his crypto.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, babes.